Welcome in, everybody. And if you had told me a few months ago I would be telling you what it's like to ride my 2025 Africa Twin DCT, I would have thought you were crazy, but this happened. It's a gift from a dear friend and mentor, and they helped me a whole lot through my first cancer treatment and the relapse, which the new treatment is working amazingly. But enough of that. I'd like to say that this bike has been a blast. I've had it for just over a couple of weeks now, and I was able to pick anything that I wanted. I had a choice of any kind of bike, and this is where I landed. There's a few good reasons why I wanted to try a DCT bike. I never got to experience the DCT before, and I thought that could just be a whole new way to experience and ride a motorcycle, and it definitely is. Keep in mind, that's different than Honda's e-clutch system, just so there's not any confusion there. But I got this specific bike. Honda makes an adventure sports model Africa Twin, which has a 19-inch front wheel and a larger fuel tank. And you can also get, I think on both models, electronically adjustable suspension. But if I sat here and went too much into detail, there's so much to unpack with this bike that it would take a lot of time. It would be a video that's way longer than anything I'm going to shoot today. What we want to do today, though, is just talk about what it's like to experience this. There's a parallel twin, never had. DCT, never had it. TFT, never had it before. So this is, to me, like a mind-blowing experience. I ride this bike every day since I've gotten it, and I'd like to share that with you. So hop on, and we'll go take it for a spin. I'm Comfy Dad Shoes, and I'll see you in just a second. Welcome to the ride portion. Take a little walk around of the bike just so you can get another view of it. Let you hear that. Here, see if we can get closer to the exhaust. You can hear it. There you go. All right. Probably something you want to see first right here is how to put it in gear. That's all you got to do. If you want to go into sport mode, you just hold it, and once you press it for like a 1 Mississippi, it clicks up to sport. You can do that 3 times. To switch back into drive, just tap it. But I like to go, you have 4 driving modes and 2 custom modes. I like Tour mode, Sport 1. And so that's one of the big pluses to this bike. You can get on it and you can put your drive mode with your preference for power, engine braking, traction control, ABS on off. But you have all these preferences to really dial in your ride to exactly how you want it. And it just takes off smooth. Another thing, while we're talking about it, is this seat. I love it. For an OEM seat, it'll surprise you. Now, there are tons of seat options if you want it, but I'm not really seeing myself change that anytime soon. I'm not really seeing myself change much of anything on here for a very long time. Out the box, it's a great bike, especially for a tall rider. But even if you're a shorter rider, all you got to do is adjust the seat. It's got an adjustable height. We'll go over 1. I love the acceleration. But yeah, shorter riders can adjust the seat. You can also adjust this. I'm in a clean stream of air up here, and I'm in this calm pocket around my shoulders. So the resistance riding is really nice. It's not pushing me back super hard or anything. Here we go. And this engine braking on Sport 1, it's not super intrusive. Let's go into the harbor. I have to mention, I've gone through here on the bikes a few times before,
and it's gorgeous. I think I've had one other day that maybe ties this for how pretty it was, and it was around the same time of year too. I think when I made that video. You can go back in the catalog. It's the DR650 highway ride. See if we see anybody catching some fish down here. Dead slow. Dead slow. That's I want you to go really slow through here. Just turn around. Beautiful, beautiful harbor, man. This bike is it's like once you start moving on it, and also when you're pushing it around at low speed, it's a lot more maneuverable than it looks, especially for being the larger bike that it is. When I'm pushing it around the patio, just to position it, to move it, to get the DR out, it's easier to move than the V-Strom was, the V-Strom that was recently sold. I love that. And it's really flickable. Maybe that's every bike that is a large adventure bike with all this tech, but this is incredibly flickable. I don't have any other example to compare it to in the large adventure category other than the VFR 1200X, which it kind of was more of a crossover than an adventure bike. It didn't really have a whole lot of adventure capability. And it came out around the same time that Honda released some of the first Africa Twins, and Honda actually cannibalized their sales there, I think, by manufacturing two bikes that were pretty similar. But that bike it's just so much more inferior to this. And with all these controls, one of the things is you know, in the past, I've mentioned, you know, you can have this bare bones bike, and I love that, and I would recommend that to anybody before they ever get a bike this size and before they ever get on something like this. But what it has and what it costs in the market compared to some of the competition is this insane value. The value in the bike is nuts. I mean, you got 6-axis IMUs and traction and engine braking and power modification and all that. All is part of the standard kit. That's just very generous. And right now, if you're looking at Africa Twins, the used market's really great, but the person that bought the bike, they were able to pay $12,500 for it. I think that's a great amount. And on the highway, right here, the stability is great. You feel, even at higher speed, it kind of beckons you to take a longer trip. It makes you want to go further. It's holding my back in a really nice posture, and because I can raise this seat, it's putting my legs at a nice bend too, where I'm not getting like that restless leg syndrome feeling. Sorry about all the sniffling too. So just got over the rhinovirus, aka the common cold, but some of the medicine I'm on intensifies it, and still kind of getting over just the last little bit of that. But this bike is really, really smooth down the highway. And I'm averaging, it's 46.8 right now, miles per gallon. I can't transfer that over into any other units. You just have to look it up. As far as my size, I can tell you that I'm 6'4", 193 centimeters, and 230 pounds, which is about 106 kilograms. All right. I can feel this transmission. There's no helmet knock. So when you have a DCT, you can control the engine braking, but another thing you can control, and I would take sport mode off when you have a passenger just because it doesn't engine brake as hard, but you can control the shift points and all, and it shifts so smooth that you don't have the helmet knock where your passengers, you know, getting their heads slapped. And I love that. can go down this street because it takes you into a really cool hotel area that you can check out. Here we go. Yeah, we're near. Okay, I got there a little faster than I thought I would. This bike definitely beckons you. So if you're looking at it as a first bike, I would recommend starting out on a dual sport. If you want to go into, if you've never done it before, never done any kind of ride, go with a dual sport. There's so many great ones out there. There's KLX 300, CRF 300, DRZ 400, DR 650, XR 650L. Especially the XR 650L, KLR 650, and DR 650. If you're wanting to be an adventure bike rider and you want to dip your toes in, those to me are more adventure bike than dual sport. They do dual sport riding, but with that big torquey thumper engine, it can turn taller gear, so you can still do some longer trips. But you'll also start to develop the ability to finesse the weight of the bike, so you can move into a heavier bike. But I wouldn't start out on this because it may be discouraging to newer riders if there's a lot of little nuances that come along with the heavier bike. For somebody who's been riding a DR 650 going on 4 years now, this is so amazing to step into. Something I'm not gonna do in any of these videos, speaking of all the capabilities and things you can do with the bike, is try to sell you $9,000 worth of camping gear. A lot of what my plans are with this bike are adventure based. I want to start making videos that tell more of a story, can take you to some places that are outside of just this area a whole lot easier now. I want to go to there's an alligator farm I want to do an adventure video on, and the ride out there is just gorgeous. You're going over some old bayou and you take old 90 down towards New Orleans, and yeah, they got swamp tours and stuff. I'd love to do some adventure stuff with this bike. Hopefully it just turns green by default. I still put my left foot down and hold the right to keep that brake lit up at the lights, but you just don't have to worry about the clutch. This knob over here is just a parking brake, and that's great if you live anywhere with a hill or you want to park on any kind of slope. We'll go over a little bit of gravel here too in just a minute. I'll show you what that's like. Going over this airport is also a military base, and they've been doing a lot of testing. That's actually why I went towards the southern part of town. This airport has been launching jet fighters, and it's so loud. I don't want to blow my freaking eardrums out trying to tell you what it's like to experience this bike. When we go into this area that we're about to go into, there's a few gravel alleys. I want to take you down that and just kind of show you how it hovers over some stuff. I can't remember if I mentioned this, but the gas mileage, it's not that different than what the DR's got right now. It's my DR with a 14 tooth does around 47, 48 miles per gallon. With a 15 tooth, it's doing 51. And this big 1100cc Honda is pulling 46.8 right now. And depending on which ride mode, you could change that. You can probably get a little more economical. I bet you a very economical rider can get it up to 50. I'm not trying to be economical when I ride, and I'm doing almost 47, so I'm not sure how that changes if the bike gets broken in a little bit more. But even the traction control on gravel and the stability on gravel, I really like that. It's holding a nice steady line. It's not getting tossed around too much. I mean, it's unlike anything else I've ever had, and the opportunity to ride it's been really a blessing. could wrap up right here too. So there's a lot more to come here with this. I just want to say thank you. Almost to 800 subs right now, and if you like videos like this and you want to see more stuff like this, like and subscribe. We're gonna experiment with some new material and some new themes and ideas, and I hope you stick around for it. Until the next video, I'm Comfy Dad Shoes. Have a great day.